What's up, high levelers? Funnel Doc here. In today's video, we're going to be going over the long-awaited complete walkthrough of custom objects, everything you need to know about them up till now, all the releases, how you can use workflows to set them off, how you can be able to send messages and do other things that are outside the custom object realm, and how you can tie them all together. Inside this video, we'll answer all your questions about custom objects and everything you need to know by the time we get done. So, with that being said, let's jump into today's video. Okay, now to access custom objects, you're going to come right here down to settings. Then you're going to roll down to right here where it says cut objects. It doesn't say custom objects. I don't know why they didn't name it that, even though everyone calls it that. It just says objects. So you're going to click right here. Now you are able to have up to 3 custom objects per sub account. They are looking to up that, but right now it's only 3, and you can make up to 10 associations per sub account as well. And I'm going to cover what that all means here in just a little bit. In today's example, I have a vet that I've been building stuff out for. So we're going to be using that, for example, as well as be making associations and different ideas for you and relationships to you for you as we go on. So you'll be able to have ideas of how it can relate to you and your business. So first of all, what is a custom object? A custom object is just any object that you want to track or engage with. It could literally be for anything. So for a vet, we're tracking medical records, medication, and pets. It could be, for churches, it could be who is the pastor, and the church itself could be a custom object that you want to track. For realtors, it could be different houses. It's any object that you really want to be able to track and attach to a contact of some sort. You know what I mean? So, like for instance, I might, in the instance of realtors, they could be listing me in the contact as a realtor, and then every house that they have I have underneath me, they've listed as a custom object, and then they relate that custom or associate is another way they look at it, that custom object to me. So it's really for anything like that you want to track. Another one would be like cars for a car dealership, inventory you could track, anything that you have that has multiple variables that you want to have engagement with it. It can be a custom object. It can be really anything. I do have, for anyone that stays into this, I do have a AI GPT that I created that's going to explain custom objects to you. You can put in about your niche. It'll make suggestions. It walks you through everything in HighLevel, how to set it up. It knows everything that HighLevel has to know about custom objects and workflows, everything you know. If you stay to the end of the video, I'll give you the link so you can get that for free, but it will walk you through basically everything I'm teaching you today, no matter what your niche is. So I worked really hard on that. So stay to the end and you'll get that for free. But with that being said, that's really what custom objects are. They could be, a variety of different things. If you were a martial arts student or a martial arts like a gym, it might be different workout profiles that you're tracking or something like that. It really has any variety of possibilities that GPT, that AI made, will help you out a lot with that. But for today's examples, you'll see here that we're actually tracking medications, pets, and medical records. And this will make a little more sense for you when I jump into it right now and show you what I mean. So, for instance, if I wanted to track everything for a pet for this example, I come in here, I'd create the custom object. You see, when you're creating a custom object, you come in, you're going to name the singular and the plural name. In this example is pet and pets. And then you're going to have the display name of the first thing. Now, mind you, this is the primary name that you're going to be tracking this by. So I use in this example pet's name. If you were doing a car, it could be the car's VIN number. For medical records, for our pets, we're using this as the medical ID record. Is it? So it might not be the same as these two, but this is going to be the primary field that you relate to this custom object that it's going to be tracked under. Just like in HighLevel, it's tracked underneath either an email or a phone number. You have to have one of those to be able to be in HighLevel and to be tracked. Here, it's going to be whatever you decide to name or whatever this custom field is. And that's one of the things within custom objects, I'm going to show you in just a second, you create custom fields, and those are the variables within the custom object that you'll track. So for this example, like I said, we're creating pets. And then once it created, I came in and made what's called an association. And to make association, you just create this create association button. And then you're going to come here. Now, once I would recommend before you do your associations, create all your custom objects first, because you're going to want to have some associations to some custom objects that if you haven't created them yet, you can't make. So before you set all your associations up, create all your custom objects. I'm just showing you this now because I'm explaining you this step. Now, there's three different things that you can be for your association. You can be your, well, two really. It can be your contact, where it relates directly to a contact. So in this instance, it'd be pet connecting to a contact, which is one association you'll see I have in here. The next one I have would be connecting a pet to a medical record or a medication. And then if I made a third one, it'd be a pet to a medical record. So these allows me to be able to connect directly not only the pet itself as a custom object to the contact, like we talked about for tracking, but connect the pet itself to other custom objects, which is really, really cool. And you can see in here after you decide what custom object you want here, how you want to associate it, you can come in with a single or a pair of labels, and it actually will show right here what it suggests for it to be. So if you wanted to be a pair of labels, which I use this one quite often, it'd be pets to contacts, or I change that sometimes to patients or whatever it is. And you'll see this will change. If I go to medications, now it says pets to medications. And to access that, you just click right here. And then you could write in there just like that, pets. And then instead of it being, it shows the example of seller, that would be medications or however you want it to relate to. You are seeing that you can be able to, coming soon, they're going to have custom ways. But you'll see here, there, it shows you the relationships. Many medications, because we took medication, is labeled and it shows whatever the label was. If I put medication, it would show up there as medication. You'll see it fills in automatically. And same thing here, pets can be labeled as pets, and then it shows you the associations there. So you'll see here, I've got owner. So this is for me, I had set up the contact of the association from pet to contact. So that contact, it's owner. Next one, I set up association from pets to medications and then from medical records. And you'll see, I'll show you in a demonstration what exactly that means and how it works. So, and again, I did the exact same thing for all the rest of them. So if you go to medical records, there's an association of the contact, and then there's a association for any medications and for any pets as well. So there's a sort of an overlay that they all work together and can be associated together. You can also go to just the contacts itself as a standard object here, and you can make associations underneath that. So if I wanted to come in and make another association, maybe there was a breeder or something in pets. You could come in and you can make one of contacts, but instead of calling it owner, you put breeder. And then there's another way that you could track now another person or associate another person to a pet. You could be like, this person's the owner, but this person's a breeder. But both those people are still in the contacts area. Hopefully this all makes sense. I know it's a lot. So we're going to go back here. Into it. So that is contacts themselves, or that is custom objects themselves, and how to set up associations to the contacts. If there's any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have and make sure you completely understand that. But that is your basic overall of custom objects and how they work. Now, I'm going to show you some of the cool things I've set up in workflows. I'm going to give you that link in a little bit, as well as I'm going to show you how my custom objects are laid out and how you can set up variables within each custom object. So now that we've set up custom objects, we've set up their associations, what are we tracking? So what you're going to do now is you're going to actually go underneath settings. You're going to go underneath the title of custom fields. Remember, fields are associated to contacts, where custom values are associated to that entire sub account or that level. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to come right here. You're going to click folders. And then you're going to see here where it says contact. You're going to click that. And now you'll see your custom objects have been automatically populated here. So depending on which object you are, these folders are going to, or variables we'll show you in a second, are going to be directly related to that. So for instance, here's pet. So here is all my different folders I've set up for pet: basic information, health history, behavior notes, owner information, identification, miscellaneous, as well as how many different fields are each one of those. I'm going to show you in a second, when we show how you input information, why you want to set these folders up like this. It really helps you when organizing your information, and you can change up the flow of this. So if I want this basic information, you see how I hover over here and it's a hand, just drag it right there, drag it right there. So I've set up this as a order of importance, is what I like to think about. These are the ones that they're going to have open and checking and engaging with the most, to the least at the bottom. And then so if you click inside the folder, just like you'll see inside the custom object in a second, when you click the drop down, all these different options pop up. Reason for visit, pet's name, species, breed, color, sex, spayed or neuter, birthday. These are all pet stuff, age, weight, etc. But then we've got some other cool stuff. We've got like health history, allergies, we've got in here all the owner information about it, and again, it could be anything associated with whatever you're tracking. If it's contact related, you're probably not going to need necessarily a custom object unless you're relating contacts to contacts. So it could be like a spouse to a contact, so you're relating people that way, family members, working association, something like that. You could use it. But really, custom objects are for things, that are associating to that contact. So maybe it's boats, cars, houses, anything like that, computers, I don't know, whatever you're selling. But it could be that. If it could be inventory, for a lot of you, you're probably going to use it to track inventory within your business. That's one thing we're doing here, is tracking medications and things like that. So any object that you want to associate to a person that you want to be able to track you're going to want to make it a custom object. And you can use any of the fields that you normally would to create one in here. You'll see here, let me move it down the bottom. You'll see right here, if you wanted to do a folder within a folder, you could add a folder here. But you're going to go custom field, and it's just like any other custom field. You're going to hit whatever you want. You'll hit next right here. Let me make myself. And then you'll see the big difference is right here where it says group. Always make sure that you're putting it in the right folder. You know what I mean? So you've got medical records, current medication. These are all your ones underneath, and make sure right here that it's underneath the right custom object. So if it's under contact, it's going to be contact. So we're doing it's underneath pet. You want to make sure that your object relates to whichever one it is. That's one of the problems. You can easily get messed up or lose your custom field, because if you don't set underneath the right one, it's not going to relate to the right custom object. So always make sure the object's the same, and then you'll see whatever folder you want to store it in is next. So you're going to have the name of the field, what object it is, what folder you want it to be in, and then you'll just create the different object. And the cool thing is you can use the radials, you can use checkboxes, you can all that different stuff. So that is how you create the different variables you're about to see right now inside of your custom object. So once you've created your custom objects, if you go to your normal dashboard or your primary menu, you'll see these now are set up right here. You've got your medications, your pets, and your medical records. Mind you, if you want them in a different order, there isn't a way to do that. So in the order you create your custom objects will be the order that they're listed right now on the menu. It's just one of the things, we're skateboard version. We're still fine tuning a whole bunch of stuff, but it's just something for you to keep in mind. If you wanted to list a certain way, they list in the order of creation. So if you come right here and say we're going to pets now, because we've been working on pets, you'll see here's all the different fields that I have for the pets that are listed. And if you wanted to change up the order or flow of what you're seeing here, all you do is you go to this little manage field buttons, you click right here, and now you have all your fields that you can list. You've got other details, any associations, all your stuff, and you just click them off and on whichever you want, and they're just drag and drop. So, if you decide you want one here, you want this first, second, whatever, but you'll see there's one you can't change. This is the one that I told you about when we were doing the custom object original. You've got the plural and singular, but then you've got the one that I was saying, the like relationship name of it or whatever they're tracking a name. Like I was making the relationship of email and phone number. Here it was pet's name. For medical records, it's a record ID, whatever it is. But so just remember, whatever you're naming that, that's going to be the primary guy that you can't change. You can you can edit that. You can actually edit that if you go into the custom field itself and go to edit, you can edit it. But it's just know that once you've set it, that guy, even if you edit the name of it, is still going to always be the primary, the primary that it falls under. So again, you can see a custom name. But if I didn't want any of these, I just click them off and they just disappear. And yeah, it's really easy to do, really easy to track. They're going to have lists coming up soon. You can also sort these, by different ways. You can also have different filters and search. Really cool. Now, the way you think about this is if I was a vet and I wanted to be able to add a new patient or new pet came in here, I just come in, I click add a pet. We'll make up the name. We'll say the pet's name is Snowflake. So because it's getting close to winter here, so the pet's name would be Snowflake. Again, that's the primary ID tracker for this level is pet. And then you'll see right here, all the different cool stuff pops up that we put as custom variables. Now, ideally, I'd love it if we could change this owner and followers because owner relates to your staff. Same things with followers. So this would be in our vet's case, this would be like a vet. So we come in here and I'd be like, oh, we're going to assign this to vet doctor number one. And hey, the nurse assistant and assistant number one. You could, so that way it assigns staff automatically. And then you have workflows going off, alerting those staff, yada, yada, all that type of stuff. So you come in, be like, well, what's the reason for a visit? We're going to say surgery. And then you come in here and you'd be species. This is a cat, we'll say, breed. You put all the different stuff, or the spade, it's a male, their birth date, you have the day picker you could come put. So just all the information they come in. And this is why you'll see right here. This is why I said organize in folders. See how much information is in each one of these. But when it's in nice, easy to organize folders, you can look at it. Here's everything right here. I just jump in and I can hit those specific fields for those folders, behavior notes, etc. Now you'll see one of the cool things I did is once this is all set up and made, it's going to actually automatically make a medical record. So we're going to say everything's filled out. We're cool. We're happy with all the intake information. Now, soon they're going to have the ability potentially to have forms where you can pull this information in so you wouldn't have to update all yourself. But we're just showing you a use case scenario for right now. So we save it. We love Snowflake. Snowflake's good to go. Now I have it set up that we're going to jump into it. Let's close this guy down. Boom. Snowflake will be added to the pet list. Boom. There's it. Reason for visit, all that cool information. And now we go to medical records. You'll see that Snowflake One, and I have a special convention that I made up, so it'd be Snowflake One, easy tracking. I might add the last four of the client's phone number as well. If we put that in there, I actually have that, but because we didn't put that in there, it's not tracking. But it automatically makes a record. So now this doctor could come in and go, okay, here's Snowflake's chart. And now we can come in and they'll be like, okay, date of visit, the veterinary. I would set up, I haven't done this yet, but a workflow that once you assign the owner, like I showed you, they'd automatically be assigned here as well as the pet owner and different things would update. We haven't got to that part yet with some of the custom workflows. There's still one of the things I want to show you some tricks and some workflows, but the workflows are still a little rudimentary. They are going to have some updates where you can affect custom or contact stuff soon, but you'll see what I mean when you play around in here later. So we have all the details for Snowflake. Everything's in here, all that good stuff. They're set up. And now this is their medical record as far as anything they wanted. So if they wanted, and it's all different. You can see there's all different folders set up. So now if they want to come in here, they could list what the chief complaint is, the diagnosis, what their severity level is, treatment plan, all that different stuff, and you save it. And then what we do is you just make associations. So who do I want to associate this with? This guy is, oh, here's their owner, we would say, so now there's that person is their owner. And now it's listed. If I go find this person, their pet's going to be listed underneath here as Snowflake. And in any medications, if we wanted to assign a medication, I come right here and be like, oh, let's assign them Clairvox. I think that's Clairvox. And now you'll see there's their medications. Here's their different pets. Everything can be listed right here in their related objects. So pretty cool. And that's custom objects. Now, I'm going to jump into that should give you an overview of some of the possibilities. I'm going to jump into workflows now and show you how to be able to get actually your custom objects or your custom object workflows. If you look down below now, you'll be able to see here up above is the link in the description, or the comments is the link for the GPT. You'll be able to find it there. It's totally free. Enjoy. It's going to help you out a lot when designing these custom objects. And I worked really hard on it. You're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. And it does help you with automations and everything. So if you go into automations now, this is some of the important updates they recently had. Remember, when you make a custom object workflow, it only affects that custom object workflow unless you have a special setting. I'll show you where it can allow you to hit something by an association, but most of the time, even then, you have to link it. It's like, think about it, when you're, for instance, in medical records, it's very hard to affect something somewhere else unless it's a medical record. So this is what I mean. So when you come here to workflows now and you click on it, now, normally you wouldn't see this, but you'll see that you have the ability to create a workflow for medications, for pets, and for medical records. So let's say that we wanted to make one like I have before, where every time a pet's created, a medical record's created. So we come in, we click pet, slide myself over here. Now, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, like always, what is the action? Now, in this one, some workflows you might have, there might be, an action where they're added to or dropped into the workflow. In this instance, you've only got two triggers. These are real, well, three. You've got your events, and as well as you can have apps as well. But you're really looking either as the only trigger for these custom object workflows are pet change, pet created, or an inbound webhook. Now, let's look at pet created. This is very straightforward. It can only be it created but used one of these fields as the initiator. So if you don't have one of those fields as initiator and you leave it just pet created, the second a pet's created, it will be added. If I added this filter, only will this happen if someone's pet created, but they filled out the age field as well. And, and then it says whatever your qualifier is. So, whatever it is. Or if I wanted to add another one in here, if I added this one equals to 11 or whatever, whatever your qualifier is for this behavior notes is not empty or whatever. So and that's just to make sure that if you want a pet, in this instance, a pet object to be created, but only when certain variables are filled out. If not, just leave it empty, and then anytime one's created, it will fill it out. But this allows you to do it underneath certain conditions when certain variables are filled out. So we leave that normally like it is. We hit the trigger. So hey, now whenever pet's created, now, again, your actions very limited. You've got your ability to create a pet or associated record. Again, this is why your associations are so important, and I'll show you in a second when we dive into those how they look and how they associate. Update a pet or associated record, clear fields of pet associated record. Again, you've got a webhook. You do have another action where you can send off, and I'll go over this to a Google Doc or Google Sheet to keep track of it. You can also pull information. So we'll look at that later. You've got if else, wait. You can update a custom value, go to date formatter, number formatter. You can add them to workflow, but those workflows have to be related to that custom object. So like I can't, like you'll see here, if I list these workflows, the only workflows that list are or custom object workflows for pets. So it's not like I can add them to a medication workflow. You have to set off a trigger different, which we'll get to in a little bit when I show you how to do that in just a second. So we'll get in here, the actions. You'll see you've got the other ones. You can do an array, a drip, a text formatter, custom code. The one cool thing they do have is the use for the AI. Like I said, I'm in the dev group, in the beta group for this. I was talking to devs. They're hoping in the next couple weeks or so, they're going to have the ability to start connecting these more or to the actual contact workflows, like the regular workflows, so it won't be as hard and there won't be as many workarounds potentially. But if I want to send a communication or any of the normal workflow actions that aren't listed, I have to make it trigger here. And then because it triggers here, it does something to the contact field, and then that triggers all of that other workflow, which I'm going to show you in a second. So for this instance, if I wanted to create a record, I'd come up here and it's create a pet or associated record. So I'm going to click this one. Now you'll see here it automatically says pet because it's underneath the pet headline or custom object. But I just come right here and I'm like, boom, medical record. So now, and then I pick the field, which is the patient's name. And then it's just going to be right here is what I did is, first of all, you'll see how the record ID, you can't change that. That's required. Just like the pet's name's required. These are the primary identifier custom objects, you call them, whatever it is. So the cool thing is I set up a custom workflow that also whenever it's made, that it's going to actually create a unique record identifier. So I just went in and I actually made what I did was I set up a custom value that would be updated. It's very simple for the number. It just goes to the next number. It's not, I'm thinking about doing it with AI later to try and sequence it, but the problem is you never want to copy an ID number. So the easiest way I'm doing it now is I'm sequencing it where I've got a number starting at 0 on to infinity. It relates it to the when it's made, it actually pulls in the name of the custom object, which is the pet's name, and then if the phone number is put in the last four of the phone number put in as well. So, and what I do for that is I would just come in here. You'll see you've got, whenever you come to your tag, you've got your custom object values and then your custom values. And then I just come right here to medical records and I add in the ID. And now when it ever that creates that, it's going to pull in whatever the custom value number is and create that ID. And I just create the actual rest of it. You'd come in. So the way it's set up, like I was telling you, is I set the ID, then I create a little space like this. Let me see. There we go. A little space like this. And then what I come in next is I wanted the pet's name. So now I go to custom object pet. And where are we? Pet's name. Owner pet. Let's see. Pet's name. Oh, there we go. Pet's name. So then the next thing I'd want, if I did the phone number, it's hard to do the last four from here, but if you're only putting last, you put whatever the phone number is. So you'd go again, custom object pet, and then you'd be owner's phone number. So we'll just type owner. Let's see here. Contact number right there. Bam. So now it would have the phone number on there. So now it's got a unique identifier that it's going to pull in there automatically. The last thing you're going to want to do here is the patient's name. To automatically fill this, you're again then going to go to the custom object pet, and then you're going to come up here and go to pet's name. So there's that. And then the association label would be medical records. Boom. And now that's how it would make one. So now it'd pull it up. And what it would do is pull in this unique identifier, pull in the pet's name as well as any other things too. You could just keep coming on and adding these by up here at the fields. If I wanted more fields to auto populate when I made the record, realize when it makes this records, all it's going to make is the ID and the patient's name. If I had something else off there and I wanted to pull in here whenever it auto makes this new record, all I'd want to do is just add more fields, and I can just add I can add all the fields I wanted if I wanted. But then again, you're going to want to auto populate them just like I'm showing you how to do right now, so that it pulls that information in. And that's how you make that association. Now, the thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to be able to tie it to another workflow. This is super important. Pay close attention to this. You're going to go to update pet, but your association, because we made the association of a contact, you're going to come and you're going to put it as contact. And then you're going to go in now, is it all associated contacts or just the owner? Remember how I showed you how I made that one special contact to the pet, which is owner? So in this one, we'd go with owner. Or again, maybe you're doing something special. It's all associated contacts. This one specifically for that pet owner, all associated contacts would be all the ones that are associated, obviously. And then you have your field here and you put in like their first name or whatever it is that you want to actually have it for this record that's related. You put in that field, and then you put in the custom value, and to be like the first name of the pet or whatever it is. And now what it's going to do is it's going to update. Mind you, you have to have a custom field that's similarly named. So, for instance, on you're going to want this to be updating a custom object that is the field's first name. So these are all the custom fields. So for instance, right here, I'd be like pet's name, and then I pull it in, and then I pull in the custom object of the pet's first name. And now what it's going to happen is it's going to update the contact field side, not the custom object side. And when the contact field side is launched, I'm then able to create a workflow off that. So then what I would do is what to save this one is I would come in, or what I've done is I come in and create, and I'll show you what I mean in one of the flows I created when I was doing this for the vet. I wanted to update it. So I came in here. Let me delete this guy here real quick. So once you updated that custom object, like I said, instead of updating the regular custom objects, you update the contact field. What you're going to do then is just create a good old plain old, regular old workflow. So you hit from scratch. Let's move me down here. And then your trigger would be just whatever that actual value is that you change. So for our instance right here, one of the things that we were adding was the pet's name. So your name, here we go. So pet's name. So when the custom object when the custom object, a pet record was created that had a pet's name on it, that pet name would then update on the contacts field. Here you go. And so when the pet name is changed, and that's just where I put it. So instead of it, when it's updated that contact, because you got associated contact, whoever the owner is, it automatically knows that's the owner for this pet. Therefore, it updates that contact field. Therefore, you're able to fire this workflow, and you can make anything happen at that point. But that's the only way I found. You could potentially set up I messed around with this a little bit, but it's still a little iffy because there's no email. So I tried to set up a webhook. I tried to set up a webhook, but the problem is in the webhook you need either a email identifier or a phone number identifier so that you can relate it to the contact. You don't have one yet because it's all custom objects. So this is the only way that I found so far that you can make a custom object, have it any way that its variables track on the contact side, which allows you to make a regular workflow. So here I'd have its pet's name, and then I can do anything at that point. The problem is if I want to send an email, I can't pull any data from the custom object. I have to have a custom field made up related to this contact and then update that information from the custom object to the custom field, which is very laborious and tedious, but that's the only way that you can pull information right now from custom objects to contact fields or contact workflows. So if I want to use any of that information, I have to pull it in, make it a custom field or a custom value if you want to use a custom value. But those are really the only ways that you can make right now workflows fire that aren't custom object workflows. So hopefully that's helped you out and you understand everything now. I know it's been a lot. We've went through a lot. Again, that GPT, here's the link again, as well as it'll be down in the comments and you can have it's totally free in the description. Thanks so much for watching this video. Now, I am starting tomorrow 14 days of AI where the Funnel Docs can be doing live demos on all the different bots I have. We're starting with voice and chat. We're doing a customer service AI voice bot tomorrow. So if you've been wondering how you can use the voice AI, that's right, the one native to HighLevel to build out your own customer service that will do tickets and stuff like that. We're going to have an example tomorrow, and every day starting tomorrow till Christmas, I'm going to be doing a training and show you everything to be able to master AI inside of HighLevel. So thanks so much for watching today's video. Funnel Doc out. Peace.